Why am I I am such a geek. Hello, everybody. There is all kind of people in here already. So let me look at the chat. So welcome to LuuLuu and Friends. This is my Tuesday night show. Tonight, I am so honored to have Jarekhye Covarrubias. I said it right.
You
From
said it right.
from Ganache Parfums. So we were going to be talking for a while now. JC, you told me to call you JC.
Yes.
Let me just tell you, we can go when you tell me when you're ready to get off, because my people are kind of long-winded. They long-winded, so they'll sit on here. So let me see who's been in here already. We've got Perfumes with Pat, Uncommon Sense, Dion Grenage. They all been waiting to see you, okay, and talk to you. All right. We got Dee Dee. We got Yvonne Curtis. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm trying to see who's everybody in here before we get started. All right. So let's get started. So thank you first off for doing this with me. I really do appreciate it. I was so surprised when you agreed.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Like I said, I connected with your story. So
Okay.
yeah, so I feel like we go way back.
Okay. So here is hi Helen. So for everybody that doesn't know, this is okay. Let me give them the quick because they kind of know how we kind of connected. So first off, we connected on a mistake because remember you when I contacted you, you kind of you canceled my order. And I was, hi Leah, how are you? How are you? Right? I was like, but I just wanted my order. And I was only contacting you because I had done 2 orders back to back. So I just wanted you to send them all in one box. And I don't know what happened. What you think I didn't want to be a friend or something?
No, so here's the thing. So I'm guilty of canceling an order because it started out as 4 people, now it's just me. And it's been a journey through this time. And so when I first started Ganache, I had another. Oh, there's Ouija. Hey, Ouija. Good to see you. When I first started this, I had another company, Hot Springs, and so that was me making perfume because I just wanted to make perfume. Didn't know how to get materials. Didn't know what I was doing. Shouldn't have been releasing anything, and I sort of came into the gourmand piece and learned how to get more materials and got more access. But what I discovered is there's some wonderful, wonderful customers. And then there's just some straight up evil customers that want you to feel just as badly as they do.
I call them the miserable ones.
So I encountered a couple of those. And so just that experience is I'd rather give back someone's money and have them be happy than to have to deal with. I mean, I can deal with someone who's just like, I didn't like that. But I've had people like cut and paste reviews and send them together like the whole world hates you.
Right.
And so long story short, I ended up coming across someone who was like a business partner. I can't talk about all of it, but that person turned out to be more of an opportunist who just wanted basically someone to make perfume for friends and family, like they had their own private perfumer. So Hot Springs, it ended with me not being able to make anything other than gourmand perfumes for a while. But that experience is just like, when I get stressed, I'm just like, okay, I'll just give you back your money.
Right. I was like, slow down, killer. Slow down, killer. I just want to give some fragrance. Hello, everybody. So we have a lot of people coming in who said hi. We got Deborah Day. You have a lot of people. We have quite a few people who are YouTubers that are in the perfume community. So they're in here to meet you too. So so we got that. So
hey,
now
Coco.
So let me just say, so now that happened, and then of course, then you reached out to me. So they and I didn't know you had seen the video.
Yeah, so the funny thing is, so I'm a social worker. I work with youth now, but when I first got out of college, my first job was working on HIV prevention and education. And so through that evolution, I ended up working on a program in a shelter with women who had been infected or affected by HIV. And so that your video was I use that in so many times, just to show to people who were struggling, like women who just felt betrayed, and just like that piece, and getting past the hurts. You know, as a male, I can only do so much. You know,
Right.
so showing that video, I had no idea that we would ever meet, that I would refund your order, cancel your order, any of that. And
Right.
so when I'm guilty of not watching reviews because I'm too influenced by the reviews. Like somebody will say a negative thing and I'll change the whole formula. So I had
Okay.
to like ban myself from Fragrantica, ban myself from that, and have people that watch it. Although I will say the most negative YouTube review I ever got is how people found me. So it wasn't the person who did the review didn't like really anything
Oh
that
well.
was there, but I got to connect and I got to meet people, you know, through that piece. But somebody will say they don't like this, and then I'll change everything based on
Okay.
that. So I don't watch the reviews, but I have people that will watch the reviews. So someone was saying, well, you have to just at least check it out, and I'm like, no, I can't watch it. I can't watch it. And so again, I got a clip, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's no way. Like, there's no way this is the same person. So then I had to go back and watch the video, and I was like, wow. So it was
Okay.
like, okay, well, now I want to just give you everything because, like I said, I've seen people's lives change just from that video that you did. And so,
Really?
yeah,
Really?
because I don't want to give away too much just in case the person who I'm talking about might be watching the video. But there was a person who, you know, her husband had lied to her. He had this past of being injection drug user, and so just this whole, you know, past, he was positive, he was on medication, and so he just hid this whole thing from her. So because he was taking the medication, his I want to be careful what I say because I don't want people to think that they can just go out and do whatever, but you know,
Right.
it lowered her chance of transmitting
Right.
the virus. So she didn't
Right.
contract the virus, but when she found out just this whole thing that was hidden from her, she just was struggling with forgiveness. She was just struggling with, you know, forgiving herself, mainly because she felt like, you know, she should have known better. And
Right.
so
Right.
being able to show her that video and just saying like, hey, there's other people who have been through this and who are still
Right.
going on and doing
Right.
other things. And so she knew that you were doing other things because she came in one day with like makeup on, and she was like, oh, I learned this from LuuLuu. And I'm just like, I'm okay. You know?
Well, so for
Well,
people who don't know, because I don't honestly, and this is so funny, I've done it, but I really don't talk about it that much. It's like I put it out there and then I left it. You know, it's just like for the amount of views that it has, I had forgot about it. You know, and it kind of just all of a sudden kind of blew up. So I don't, you know, it's like something that happened, and that's kind of like cathartic. You know,
yeah.
so with that happening, part of the reason why I tell it is because, and this is just so everybody understands, because it wasn't like I was looking for somebody to be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you know, feel sympathy or anything. But when that happened to me, and for the people who don't know, let me give the short version because some people don't. About 2008, I found out that my husband was HIV and hepatitis C positive, had been since the day I met him, and I didn't know for 9 years. So it had been 9 years we were together, and I didn't get it, thank God. But you know, it did change who I was at that moment. But the reason why I told it was because oh, this is so cute. Oh, they want the link to the reference video. I'll link it. Actually, you don't even have to do that. If you go into my channel, it's my most, you know, watched video. So if you go into my channel, it pops up. So it was like a year after it had happened, you know, and I had really, a lot had happened during that year. And so I had just got back to teaching belly dance. And I was in a class and it was National HIV Testing Day. And so normally at the end of class, we would kind of get in a circle. And I just blurted it out. And I was like, I told everybody, I said, please go get tested. And then I just told it, I wasn't planning on saying what had happened and why I was telling, because, they were kind of looking at me like, why are you telling us to go get an HIV test, right? And so I explained, did a brief explanation of it. And then, we kind of separated, everybody went home. And by the time I got home, one of my students has sent me an email and thanked me for talking about it, because the same thing had happened to her sister. But unfortunately, she got it and died from AIDS because she didn't know she had AIDS. So she told me to please keep telling that, so that because she couldn't talk about it because it was so raw to her. But please keep telling women to do this, so they know, so the same thing doesn't happen to them like it happened to her sister. So that's how I wound up telling it, and being open to speak on it, because that's a hard thing to tell somebody, people like, and think about, over the years, people have asked me how I broke up, how my relationship broke up. And they'd be like, well, it just broke up. So, so that's why I put it out there. And so the year before I actually did it on YouTube, I had done it on Facebook. It was on World HIV Day. And then just so happened, I was sitting in my bed and I just was telling about it. And that one went like crazy too. And I mean, like, to the point, like, for on Facebook, it's been watched about 600,000 or 700,000 times over the last few years. And so then I did it for this, because I said, well, this is the new platform I'm on, so let me at least put something out there because of that day. And that's when I put it out on World HIV Day, because I think it is important that women, people know in general, male or female, that you need to get tested whether you're in a relationship or not, because you never know what your partner is doing. And sadly, that's the truth. And it does happen all the time. So for the people who are in there, because they were like, some of them probably were like, what the hell are they talking about? Just thought we could let them know. So let's get back to you, though, because we're here for you. First off, let me say this. I'm going to have to contain myself, because you kind of fine, though. You are kind of handsome. I looked at your picture when you sent me. I said, damn, he look good. He's cute. Okay. And y'all can tell the truth, So how long is your hair? Because I know you got it covered up, and you said you got to put your braids back in.
Well, it's braided right now. So right now my hair needs to be rebraided. It's the pandemic. So forgive me, but I look like a runaway slave by the head. So that's why I'm wearing the turban, because I just can't. But my
right
hair,
now you look like you should be selling me some incense on the street, but okay.
So if it's wet, then it's probably like just to my little past my shoulders. If it's dry, then it's probably right about here.
You got that good hair, ain't you? It's like all curly and stuff, ain't it? You got that Corbin blue hair, don't you?
Something like that, yeah. But right now it's more like Captain Caveman. It's a lot. It takes a lot of work to comb this mess. So.
Right. A comment said he got them undone roots too. Okay, here, hold on. We got somebody. Whenever compliments come in, I always have to put them up. So you were fine with that. You don't say that.
Oh, well, thank you. Bye. This is good.
We're gonna make you blush too, because it's a bunch of women, and we older. Older women. I gives no fuck. I'm gonna say what I got to say. Now, before we did this, people, he was worried about anything being said up in here with me, but I told him, somebody asked, do you have dreads? But you
no, so I have the kind of hair that if I got dreadlocks, it would look like shredded wheat. Dreadlocks is not for everybody, and so I can't walk around looking like I'm going through something, especially working in the mental health field.
Right, because then you look like you should be committed.
Yeah. Yes.
I got you. Because I live by this one hospital called Jackson Park, and sometimes some of them they just let them out. Sometimes you'd be like, okay. Yeah. All right. So now we talked about how you got into it. So Ganache, now, is it back running now? It's up and running now?
It's back running now. This pandemic has been interesting because a lot of the places that I would get materials from, the biggest place that I got just closed down, and they're not going to be reopening. And
Wow.
so as I found a couple of places, but you have to reformulate every time you get new materials, and you have to test those materials, and how long is it going to take for everything to last. So it's back up and running. Excuse me. I'm drinking sparkling cranberry juice, so forgive me.
Okay, that's all right. You drink a beer. We got you.
So, but it's back up and running, but it's a little limited than it was before. I didn't get the packaging in time to send to you, but I just released a comfort collection that's based on comfort foods, but these are not as, I'm getting more away from the literal gourmand because it's harder to find the materials to make the literal. I mean, it takes a lot of naturals
Right.
to sort of do that. And so I guess I follow recipes. I don't guess, but I follow recipes to sort of make those things. So I have to find like the natural oils or the isolates to be able to make those, which is part of the reason why people don't get part of the reason people don't get the lasting effect is because it does have a lot of naturals in it. The other is that people don't apply them right. Like there's so many people that apply fragrance incorrectly.
Okay,
So
so you're
you're
gonna have
not
to
going to
explain
get
that.
that. So if you, I have, if I put, most people will mist, you know, I don't know if you can see the bottle, but they mist when they put on the fragrance, or they'll just spray. And so that's not the way that I create the fragrances. So the best way to get the full effect is when you first get out the shower on damp skin, to take it and to spray up and across the body, like 5 to 6 sprays. Yeah,
Okay.
and then and to pat that in, don't rub, but to pat that in. And then once you get dressed, if you spray like 6 to 10 inches away. So if you could see my wrist, I'm trying to do this on the camera, which is weird, but to spray up and down, because it'll also change the fragrance a little bit as it blends with your skin and it dissipates in the air. So you get a little bit of a different, and then you can pat.
Okay. So
if you want.
Christy says she wants the rice fragrance, but I don't know which one that one is.
So that was arroz con leche, and it there is a rice absolute that I use in that I can't get anymore. So I'm working on reformulating it. So I think I have like enough for maybe 4 or 5 bottles left, and when that's gone, until I can source some more of that, it just isn't the same without it.
Now, speaking of your stuff smelling just like something that it is, ginger ale. Mm-hmm. This thing smells just like ginger ale. Now, I gotta be honest, I don't want to smell like ginger ale. I tried it. It doesn't smell good on my skin. But somebody in here, Uncommon Sense, loves this fragrance. He loves it. But I swear to you, this is the most realistic ginger ale scent I have ever smelled. Ever. I was like,
Uncommon Sense, is that the other JC? Not the OG JC. I'm the OG JC.
No. This is no. His name is Andre.
Andre. Okay, no, I don't. Right. Okay. Well, yeah, that has a ginger. It has red ginger essential oil in it, and a ginger extract in it, so that gives it that ginger scent.
Okay.
But it's not for everybody.
No, it isn't. But you know what the thing is like, perfume is so subjective. Something could smell wonderful on somebody and terrible on another person. So I think sometimes people take the shit too seriously. It's like, it might not smell good on you, but it smells fabulous on me. So that was the only thing. Now, the one that was my favorite of the first ones that I got is because all your stuff is in a box. Hold on. This is my favorite. Leche y galletos. I love this. I love this stuff. It is, oh my God. I could smell like somebody should eat me, like a cookie. Oh my God. It's like an almond cookie. Oh my God.
Yeah, that is from the recipe for my grandmother's tea cakes that she used to make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this thing smells so good. So now remember we were talking about this. So explain to them what we were talking about. Because remember I asked you, should we hold these for like a few weeks before we really use them? And
So yeah, so here's the thing. I made everything fresh to order, which is part of the reason why it took so long to ship. Perfume, it can be temperamental depending on how it's stored and everything else. But I didn't like the way that when you go to the store, not bashing anything that people get in the store, you just don't always know how long it has been sitting around or how it's been stored. So I
right,
wanted to try to make everything like fresh that at the time people ordered. So when I got the order, I actually was I make the perfume concentrate ahead of time. And that stays, temperature control. But I was actually blending it together with the perfumer's alcohol and putting it in the bottle. And so it
okay,
takes about 6 to 8 weeks to reach full maturity. And so part of the reason why it would take so long to ship out is I would hold things for a couple of weeks. So it didn't smell
okay,
like straight up rubbing alcohol. Well,
okay,
not rubbing alcohol, but like straight up alcohol when people
okay,
got it. And then send it out. And then there's some things that like I don't use a lot of the fillers and binders that some of the other people use as well. So there's some things that you have to shake in order, like shimmy shimmy cocoa pop will separate, and so you have to shake it, and it sort of turns a milky color, but the chocolate
okay,
note gets more intense. So the longer they sit, if stored correctly, they can last for several years. Because I
okay,
use a lot of high quality um, perfume aroma chemicals and natural isolates. So if you store them in sunlight, no perfume should you store in
right,
direct sunlight. So if you have your perfumes on your dressing table with the sunlight coming through, I would not advise you to do that because it can change
right, right.
the.
I have to actually get a curtain for this window because it's not like it hits all of them, but I notice like the sunlight some days comes through, so I gotta do something with that right away. Now the new ones that you sent me. Now let me just say I was so surprised. Oh, do they come with an information card? No, they don't.
And I probably
Um,
should do that. I never thought of that, but I probably should.
okay, so here's the things. Now I'm gonna give you something. Don't you ain't gotta listen to me. Now this is what we came up with. Hold on, let me get my first one. Now you know I don't like whipped. Now, Uncommon Sense loves whipped, but he loves whipped. He loves it, don't you? Okay. So, yeah, because he came over because he lives in Chicago. He lives right around the corner from me. So he came to try him, and he loved whipped. Whipped was terrible for him. So let me show you. It was like,
Your reaction was priceless. My sister sent me a clip of that, and yeah.
I was like, what kind of, and I was so disappointed because I really like the sound of it, but it just doesn't. And I tried it again. I did try it again on my skin. And I was like, no, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. But I will tell you what it did. Okay, so this is Stung now. I got the different name on it, right? I
Yeah,
wound
that's the original name. Yeah.
okay, so this is the honey one with the beeswax. At first, I was like, I'm not feeling it. But then I tried it one day. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. I did not know I needed a honey and beeswax one, but I do. Now, the only thing we said was, I just have a little thought. Okay, when it comes down to your, let me put it here, to your, okay, first off, let me say, I love your new bottles. I do. I think they're much nicer than these bottles, of course. Much
Mhm.
nicer. These are much nicer bottles. They're very they got that niche vibe to them. I feel like, all right, okay, come through with the niche. But what we were saying was as opposed to doing the full label, if you just did the black part,
Uh,
and did like a more shiny label and just do that as opposed because you don't need this takes up too much. You don't need all that. Just do like the actual label with the name. But yep, so see, everybody agrees these bottles are so nice. There's so much, because they have a sleekness to them. They feel very, they give that quality feel. So I love because at first when I tried these, I was like, no, no. But after I tried it again, it was so beautiful. Now, right, and you could see no, this one is Stung, and this is the honey and Deborah. This is the honey and beeswax one. So I was, yeah, I like this one. Now the other one that surprised me too, because at first I was like, oh, it's okay, oh, it's okay, is this one. So I'm telling, because they've been waiting to see what I said. Because I told them we were gonna have like a recap on these, because that was the first day you gave them to me. I was so excited because I thought you were sending me a discovery set. And when I got the box, I almost cried because I was like, he sent me all these big old boxes. And I was just, feeling just, so I felt so, I was really so surprised, and I was like very honored and appreciative for it. So yes, you need leche. Y'all need leche y galletas. Do you have any still left?
I do, yeah.
Y'all better get them before he run out because it's good. So this one is Smolder. I can't remember what's in this one because I haven't worn it in a couple of weeks because I'm letting them sit. I'm trying to let them sit before I really start wearing them. But I wore this one. I put this on one night, right? I was just trying it on, and I woke up, and it was still strong. And that's good because everything, my skin eats up fragrance. So I had just put it on, just trying it out. It was so much boozier, so much, it was so sexy. It was definitely that sexy gourmand. But I woke up and it was still strong. It was like, whoa, I moved my hand. I was like, what is that? I was like, oh my God, this is still on me. So this is like, now this is one of my favorites too. So of the new ones, Smolder and Stung are my absolute favorites. Smolder and Stung.
Smolder has sandalwood accord that I made in it, a little bit of civet, so it'll stick to the skin, and it can, depending on your skin, it can really amplify. So that's one. It's one that I will wear, but sparingly because it's really hot here in California, right. And so I will have. The last time I tried that, I had a lady in her walker chasing me to ask me what that was. And so I'm like, well, if this was an Axe commercial, it would be a little bit different than what was expected.
Well, we just gonna say, that was her excuse. She was just trying to holler at you. I'm just telling you the truth. She was just trying to holler. That's all. She was just trying to holler. Okay, so now everybody, y'all don't know this, but he sent me some more fragrances, y'all. We got more to try. So what is the name of this collection?
So that's coffee. So the coffee is a different. So the most popular scents that I ever did was a coffee collection that I did. But because of the first experience with the hot perfumes, I have to be careful what I release under Ganache Parfums. So I found a loophole. I don't know if I should have said that. Maybe we can edit that part out, even though it's live. But and so coffee is a new house. Okay. That I'm starting. That's just all dedicated to coffee fragrances, and so that is a little more daring than some of the other ones. Like some of them are gourmand, some of them are not gourmand. They're coffee inspired, so there's a note of coffee in all of them, but they're just all different. And so that one, I have the discovery sets available, but I will open. This is the packaging that I came up with for a coffee. And I got these bottles because they reminded me, these are the ones where you have to attach their sprayers, but they reminded me of the tops of percolators. Where's my camera? But
that's pretty.
I can't get these anymore. I can't get the bottles anymore. So I have to work on finding new packaging.
Oh man, because those are very vintagey. They give a very vintage vibe.
Yeah, they were vintage, and they reminded me of my grandmother used to have this old coffee maker that had a glass percolator on the top that her grandmother probably gave her. But so that's what this kind of reminded me of. But like I said, I can't get these bottles anymore, so it's just the discovery sets now that are available. But this is actually my favorite one that I wear all the time, and this is vanilla and coffee. Escape is the name of it.
So Uncommon Sense like the packaging of the coffee cup. So that was a good move.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's start now. I'm just gonna pull them up because I don't know the notes. So I'll give your name and then you can tell us the notes and then I'll spray and we'll see what happens. Okay. So this is King George.
So King George. So I was inspired by the Coffee soundtrack in the movie Coffee. So Pam Grier is one of my favorite people on earth. I was still not convinced we're not going to get married someday. So if she should see this, holler at me. So
we
that's
should
where all of them.
try to tag her in it so you can holler.
Yes, please come. I'm in Oakland or Berkeley, depending on the day.
Right.
Come find me. So King George was the pusher in the movie. So that one has almond. It has almond milk. It has coffee and sugar.
Okay, so let's try this one. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Okay. And now this is the discovery set, right? Which I think is so cute. Look at the bottles though, y'all. It's like, okay, I like this one already.
So samples are the bane of my existence. Trying to find bottles that don't leak is a challenge. So I got the bigger bottles because I also have a tendency to overfill bottles, which is also part of the reason why they leak. But I think with those, I found one that's not going to leak.
Okay, I like this one. This definitely has a strong coffee note. Oh my goodness. And that's the thing. I've been looking for coffee since. Can you buy the discovery set tonight? Yes. Is the discovery set on your website?
It's not on the Ganache website though. It's a hot coffee, but coffee is KOPHE.
Okay, so after this is done, before I'll add the links into the description box. So I'll put all of your links in the description box so people can reach out to that.
Okay.
Plus, oh my God. Plus he's on Instagram, even though he, and he does answer.
I do answer. It might take me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it on the website on my description box. Oh my goodness. Okay. I like this one. It's definitely coffee. I don't get this one. I get a little, the almonds coming out because I love almond.
Yeah. On the skin, as it dries down, the almond will come out more. So that one, actually, I'm careful with the tree nut notes. So that one does have a synthetic almond because I don't want to kill someone who has a nut allergy.
Well, let me just say this. If your dumb ass, if you got a tree nut allergy and you buy some shit that says almond on it, then you deserve everything you get because you stupid. Okay,
well, yeah,
I'm sorry.
But I don't want to catch a case because.
Okay, that's true. But I mean, if it's an almond on there, common sense will tell your dumb ass not to buy it. Okay, so here we got Kofi Sauna.
So now that one is one of the more polarizing scents. But what it was inspired by is when you smell a lot of fragrances and then you smell coffee beans after. Right. So it's got a very strong coffee absolute in it. Okay. It has a coffee tincture in it. It has a triple filter to get the sugar out coffee liqueur in it. Okay. And then it has a little bit of isoe super and some other stuff I won't.
Right.
That's my business.
Okay. This is stuff you need to know. Don't be telling everything now. Don't be giving away your secrets. Don't be giving away.
It can open up because of the coffee. You can get sort of a cat urine vibe when you first spray it, but as it dies down, the coffee will come out more as it dries down.
You see, I looked at, and I see what you mean. Oh my God, it does smell like cat pee. Yeah. Oh my God, it does. Okay, we're gonna have to let this one dry.
But when it dries down, it's nice. But when I
it does.
Yes, it smells like someone just mopped the floor with cat pee. But as it dries down,
it's coming out. The coffee is coming out. This is strong coffee too, but this is like almost all coffee.
Yeah,
like the other one started having that creamy almond vibe, where this one is mostly coffee.
Yeah, I really did want it to cleanse the palate, like when you smell coffee. So I try to keep it as close to coffee, but coffee doesn't last long on the skin. So there's a couple other things that help it stick to the skin.
Okay, so okay, I did get that cat urine as soon as it did it. Okay, so she was saying she doesn't see leche y galletos.
It might. I might need to.
Because
I
I know
don't
it was
check
on there
the.
about a
Yeah.
week ago.
Yeah. I might just need to. It might be out of stock. I might just need to add more. But I haven't been on the. I haven't worked on this on the website today, so I will after this go in and update
Okay.
the quantities.
Okay, so now we have making love. I gotta hear about this one.
So okay, so that one is also
Wait.
from the Coffee soundtrack. It is inspired by, of course, Pam Grier. It's one of the songs from the soundtrack. It's a take on a fragrance that I did, One Legged Joe. But the feedback that I got from One Legged Joe, which let me explain why I had the name One Legged Joe. So I went to IHOP, and when I went to IHOP, they had a maple glazed eclair, which an eclair with maple bacon on the top,
Oh,
which
I've had
sounds
that before.
yeah. It wasn't something that I could see myself eating, but I was intrigued by it. So that's how I came up with it. But I didn't want to get sued, so instead of calling it IHOP, I called it One Legged Joe.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so
Yeah,
now back to making love. What's in this one?
yeah. So that one has maple syrup. It has bacon. It has pancakes. There's a little bit of amber in it, but it also has guaiac wood in it. So when
Mhm.
you first, it has a lot of guaiac wood in it because I wanted to cut the sweetness of the maple notes. And so when you first spray it, you get a strong bitter note from that and the smoky notes, but that will dry down and then you'll get the maple syrup that won't turn into curry because on some people maple syrup can go curry. But when you
Okay,
first spray it, you're going to get that bitter, salty note that you either love or hate.
that I hate. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying though. It smells like some old person's house when they had that liniment. I'm just, I mean, that's to me, but I
Yeah.
do see that it's going away. So I see what you're saying is going away, but that first burst was old people liniment smell. It smelled
Yeah,
like,
it's a love it or hate it, and it'll get but it doesn't the middle notes come out fairly quickly
yeah, and I can
on that
smell the
one.
saltiness of it. I like the saltiness of it, but it smelled like somebody rubbed some liniment on it. Hmm.
Well, that's better than to me. It kind of has a rubbery sort of burnt. I like it, but it's not the sort of thing that people are itching to first spray on. But I also have to say, not everyone wants to smell like maple syrup either. So yeah,
I am not mean, Deborah. She said I'm so damn mean. No, I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. That's what I tell the truth. The God love. I tell you the truth. The God love.
hey, yeah,
But it's yeah, salty meat. Okay, but now it smells better. Definitely, you can definitely get that. Ooh, what did I get on me? Okay, so yeah, it does get better right away. Got that salty little vibe to it. But yeah, that bitter liniment smell like you're gonna rub me down and shit, which could
yeah. And
actually be kind of good.
I
You think
chose
about
not
it.
to tone that down. I chose not to tone it down because I like the evolution that it does, but it's not for everybody.
Right,
But
since it's personal. See, Ouija
yeah.
got me. He got me. He got me. Since it's
Now
personal.
Ouija has the original one-legged Joe, and it's different because I really amped up that bitter note in it when I put the guaiac wood with the coffee, so they're not the same. The dry down is similar, but it doesn't get like on me. If I loved one-legged Joe, but when I went out, I smelled like I got baptized in Indian food. Like it was just curry and just like nastiness
Right,
for
right.
me.
I mean, I love some curry, but I don't. So this is Escape.
Hmm. So Escape is vanilla, coffee, and then it has some incense, a little bit of incense in it. I made the incense in court. So is it like starfish and coffee? It is starfish and coffee was a little more smoky, and I had made a tincture from roasted coffee beans. I had to discontinue that because it took me a year and a half to tincture those coffee beans. and nobody has time for that. I mean,
No, you ain't. No,
yeah.
ain't nobody got time for that.
So that was it was limited. It was limited edition, but that's one of my favorite Prince songs. So I yeah.
Okay, so now this has incense in it in coffee.
Yeah, but when you first spray it, it's more perfumey. The incense isn't strong.
Okay. Okay, so let me see. All right, next up. Is this one? I don't know. Okay, so next up. And let me tell you, I don't have all that special perfume paper. I got copy paper that I cut up. So, all right. So, hi, Amador. Hi, Rose. How are you all doing? Okay, so let's go with Escape.
Wait, Rose, is that Dr. Rose?
That is Dr. Rose.
Okay, now I watched Dr. Rose. Hey, Dr. Rose. I like your she has funny stories.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
You see that too. Wait a minute. You caught that too. They came in together, Amador and Rose. They got a thing going on. We got it. They are a fragrance couple. Okay, so someone bought your Leche one. Deborah, she just bought that.
Oh, thank you, Deborah.
It's so good. It's so good. It smells like a almond butter cookie. Your butter cookie scent is so strong, and it just smells like I'm a butter cookie. Because one of them Sunny has that, and Lemon Cream has a butter cookie in it.
Yeah, I use a butter CO2, so it gives it more of a natural.
Oh, let me get this off of here. Okay, so I definitely can tell this is definitely more perfumey. Mm-hmm. This is, where the other ones were more gourmand, coffee, the foodie scents. This one is definitely a little more perfumey. Definitely I like incensey stuff. So I like this one. I have to see how it smells on my skin. I'm gonna let them sit though before I use them. But yeah, this definitely has a little more perfumey vibe to it. But I like it. It's kind of smoky, kind of incensey. I like it.
Yeah. It's another one that's not for everybody, but to me, I feel like on the skin, this really blooms. And so you get more of that rich sort of vanilla sort of incense without smelling like cake.
Right. I like this one. So Dr. Rose says she's going to buy most of your perfumes to donate to a women's shelter in Chicago.
I work in a shelter, Dr. Rose. That is awesome. I work in a youth shelter.
Okay. So next up is Priscilla's theme.
So Priscilla's theme, I might have given you those backwards. I should probably.
This is Escape.
Yeah.
Coco,
I might have given you the wrong notes for King George. I need to log in now so I can make sure that I am telling you the right thing. Because though I want to look like I know all this stuff by heart, but I don't.
I don't expect you to. So I was surprised you knew them. Shit, I was like, okay.
Then I should have just kept going and pretended like
right. We wouldn't know.
Let me switch.
Okay, so don't say nothing about my flat hair, y'all. Y'all see how flat my hair is? That's because it's been in braids all week, and I decided to fluff it up. I fluffed my hair for you, JC.
Well, hey, I put on a hat for you because I don't want to scare off your viewers.
Okay, and Ouija said he just ordered the Discovery set. All right, this your boy.
Thank you, Ouija.
I'm trying to look better in my. You said I'm not okay. I'm trying to look good because there is a man involved. I ain't gonna lie. Cause I'm sitting here with a man. I don't want to look like some little, look like I don't know how to get cute for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Okay, so I've given you some bad advice. So Priscilla's theme is the one that has the almonds. Both of them have almond, but Priscilla has so Priscilla is based on an almond latte.
Okay, let me try this one in because I love almond. I love almond. I look like a cool. Oh, look, you gonna get up here again, Ouija. Do you not understand that putting out compliments gets you on the screen? Okay. The set talent is on another He has another website he's starting. So as I will put that website in my description, Helen. I'll send it to you too. You know, I got you. I got you. Because Helen's serious. She want her stuff. She want her stuff.
And then King George has a little bit of almond, but it's got marshmallow, cotton candy, and white musk are the main notes in that.
Okay.
And that's the one that can be very sweet because King George was a heroin pusher.
And heroin people need their sweets. Don't ask me, I know that.
Well, in the movie, she replaces the heroin with sugar.
Right. So, I told you I saw coffee when I was like 7 at the show.
So yeah, your cousins, yes.
The things your kid cousins will take you through. Oh, look, this is Melissa said, oh my God, this smells so good. I like this one too. Oh my God, yes, the almond is so serious in this one. Oh yeah, this one's good. I love almond. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love this. Yes, honey, your cousins will take you out. So I was 7 and saw coffee in the show. Somebody said that they don't. And I remember thinking, this is really wild, but I like it. Oh. Okay.
My first movie was Friday the 13th.
They're going to need a top 3 scent list because they're all on the site trying to get them. Okay, so for real, Leche y Galletas is my very favorite. That's out on the site. I love Stung. I love Smolder. I love Bon Vivant. I like Cheat Day grew on me. Cheat Day grew on me.
So Cheat Day and Bon Vivant are both discontinued because I can't get the materials to make those anymore.
Smolder then. Y'all need to go for Smolder. Smolder is love. Love. Okay, so this one is Priscilla's theme. I'm sorry. This is Priscilla's theme. Yes. Hey, Amina. Okay, so if you don't know Amina, she loves indie brands. She's like the indie princess and everything.
Hey, Amina. Beautiful name.
Right. So, okay, Priscilla's theme is good. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, next up. So, going to read off what we need to know. Coffee Baby. Coffee Baby. So
Coffee Baby is based on chocolate and coffee. So it has it's actually my favorite song on the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And so but it has coffee, chocolate. It's got a little bit of cardamom in it. So it's based on a previous fragrance that I had, Mama Joe. And Mama Joe was based on one of my friend's grandmothers who was just, if hell was a place, well, hell is a place. But she is like hell the place and hell the noun. Loved her, but she was one of the meanest honoring people that I know. And so she loved her coffee, and the more bitter the better. And so that was inspired by her, but I wanted to sweeten it up a little bit more, so it's got a roasted cocoa note in it.
Okay, so let me tell you, when I just smelled it here, it was like I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but once I put it on the paper, it kind of bloomed and it is beautiful. Oh, I like it, but it's kind of got a licoricey vibe to it, though. It's kind of coming off a little licoricey right now. Oh man, it's not something that everybody will wear, though. You definitely want to get his discovery set, because I think you want to see how you like these and everything. Because I will wear this, but I don't know when.
And that's better in cooler weather.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Not hot weather. Hot weather is another knockout of lizard.
Oh yeah, most definitely cool weather.
Yeah. But on the skin, it'll develop a little more as well. It's hard to get, at least for me, it's hard to develop scents that translate well on paper. And so I test everything on I don't test on animals, but I test on lots of people.
Right.
So I have lots of people around me that I will test things on. So that one will show up differently on the skin, but it has the cardamom and just another, because I feel like a lot of people have coffee and cardamom together. So I added
Right.
a couple of other things so it's not dead on for that.
Right. How do you know cool weather scents versus hot? Cool weather tends to be, Dana, they tend to be deeper, richer, sweeter. You can wear sweeter fragrances in the when it's cool weather because they'll bloom. They're not as cloying because you want to have fresher things in the summertime and the hot weather because sugary sweet will get to smelling cloying and can get too much, become headache inducing or make you feel sick to your stomach. So that's why in the summertime you try to lighten up your fragrances. So we have coffee is the color.
That is one that I need to look at because I don't remember off the top of my head what is in that. I think
Okay,
that
you definitely
is
have to
based
try
on Irish coffee.
Right. You definitely have to try your scents on your skin because paper is fine, but but I just ain't got no skin to try on all of these because we got another box, y'all. He sent me another box. So we going to play with all of these as long as he feels like being bothered with me, because he might be like, listen, ho. He going to be like, listen, ho, with the Heaux, ho. That's the way I spell ho because, I'm a lady.
No, I'm good. And I've given you some really bad advice. So Coffee as a Color is the one that is based on the Coffee as a Palate Cleanser. Coffee Sauna actually has a tobacco absolute note in it. And so the tobacco, it's also one that's very polarizing because the tobacco absolute, I didn't dilute when I put it in
Okay.
there. So it has a smoky note and then a coffee absolute note. A tobacco absolute note that's not diluted. And then it's infused with spices, so like a pipe tobacco. So that's one that you really can't really judge if you don't try it on the skin.
Right.
Because on paper it's gonna smell like I don't know why I'm fascinated with lizard, but it's like lizard vomit on a paper, but on the skin it'll change.
She said you have great photo posts for your fragrances on Instagram.
Well, thank you.
Look, I better go look because I ain't gonna lie. I just go to your website and I was like, yes, I'm buying. The reason why I wanted to buy from you is because I was in the perfume group Oh My Soul. They mentioned you, and that was when you were closing up. And then I went, you had these great deals. So I was like, let me just buy everything. So I think I bought like 7. And I sent Uncommon Sense. He bought a bunch too because I was like, oh yeah, we need to buy these. So because he came over here and tried some stuff. Okay, so let me show you. Coffee is the color.
Yeah, I actually wasn't planning on coming back this time, but the emails and things that I got from people were like, well, let me, I decided that I'll give it another try. But it's been a journey because, like I said, it's hard to get a lot of things now.
Right. Oh yeah, this is definitely coffee.
Yeah.
Definitely bitter coffee. It smells like Starbucks.
Yeah.
It smells like Starbucks. It smells like when you go into Starbucks early morning when it's really, when it's just really full of people. And yeah, it's got that deep, bitter, strong coffee scent.
Yeah, and that's the one that can give you that cat urine vibe as well. But the coffee sauna, sorry, I dropped something. The coffee sauna also has a coffee tincture in it as well. And that coffee tincture also can give you that cat, like ammonia.
Yeah, like I said, this one is definitely reminds me of Starbucks. Yeah. It smells like when you're going into Starbucks, and it's just that really rich, deep, dark coffee. It's not that Folgers whatever. It's Maxwell House. This is serious stuff. Yep.
Yeah, and that's based on a previous fragrance that I had that was called just Joe. But Joe was before I really learned how to work with a coffee note. So as it sat in the bottle, it turned coffee that's been in the pot 6 days. And so that's a refined version of Joe.
So Helen said her favorite thing. Wait, I got it wrong. She said, my favorite thing in life is coffee. So she needs all of these. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure you get this discovery set. So next up is exotic dance.
Exotic dance this is another one that I have to look up. So I'm telling you all the wrong things.
That's all right. Listen. This is LuuLuu's world. Shit that just happens. We go with what happens. So
Okay,
let me
so
ask you
that's the
this.
one that's
Okay, let me just have a moment though with you, because I'm always inappropriate, and I haven't been inappropriate with you, so I have to have a slight inappropriate moment. So I got a question after we finish these. Go ahead. What were you gonna say? Because I got a question.
So now I want to know what the question is. So exotic dance is it's based on Irish coffee.
Okay.
Just like Irish coffee, and a lady I used to work with, whose name I don't want to say in case somebody knows her, who used to always keep a box of wine in her desk, and just some airplane
I like
drinks in
her.
her purse to add to her coffee. So
I like her.
yeah.
Oh, I like this. It smells like Irish cream. It's kind of got that Irish cream vibe to it, like Bailey's. It smells like Bailey's.
Yeah.
Mm. Somebody, Deborah asked this.
So extrait is just a stronger concentration. So you have eau de cologne, eau de toilette, eau de perfume, and extrait de parfum, which is just a stronger concentration. It doesn't necessarily mean that it'll last longer. It's just it's not as diluted in alcohol. So sometimes it's not pure perfume, which is based in oil and is
Oil.
generally smaller. Yeah, this is just a stronger concentration. So the coffee fragrances. So if you get an eau de parfum, it's usually 20 to 15 to 25% aroma compound, and the rest is like water and perfumer's alcohol and oil, and then like not I'm sorry binders to help it bind to the skin, and then some UV filters. These are about 30%, 30 to 35% aroma compound, and then the rest is perfumer's alcohol. Excuse me, and a little bit of distilled water.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the last one in this one is Aragon.
Yes. So that is also one of my favorites. It's not a lot. I use a very small amount because to keep the price down
Mm-hmm.
of real oud, but it's a very small trace amounts of oud. It has an oud accord that I made. It does have natural rose in it, and then it has incense and coffee.
Oh,
So that one is more perfumey. It's more on the perfume side, but
okay.
that's also one that really comes alive on the skin.
Okay. Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
smell this. Somebody got a question for you while I'm spraying this.
I think it depends on the fragrance. Like some of the sweeter fragrances, like I think leather and smolder would be really good together. I think leather and which one is this? Entice, which is an orange blossom fragrance that I just released, would
Oh,
smell really nice together.
awesome. I need to
That
try
one is
that one.
orange blossom and vanilla, and I just released it because I just got the packaging in, and so that would smell really good with leather. As a matter of fact, now I want to put some on with leather, but and then cocoa. I think cocoa would probably smell good with leather too, but there's a plum note in the cocoa that might clash with the leather depending on what aroma chemicals they use to make the leather accord.
Okay, so I know I'm gonna try this one because I love rose and oud, and I can smell a very, like the oud is there, but it's a very, slight
Yeah.
oud in it. I got the rose. Yeah, I would want to smell this on skin because I bet you it smells better on skin.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question: which one of these would you want to smell on a woman? Of this group, what's your favorite on a woman? Yeah, I'm good there.
Yeah.
I
I
am.
think once that bitter note dies down, making love would be one that I would want to smell. That would have me bringing you breakfast in bed. Because that maple note and the sweetness, and then I think coffee baby is another one because that chocolate note.
Okay.
when it comes out. But Making Love, definitely, I chose that name for a reason. For that one.
Okay, I see. Okay, I just had to ask because
Yeah.
because as women, we think certain things smell good, but we really need to ask men. What do y'all think? Right? Okay, so that's why I asked because I'm like, these are yours. So which one would you want to smell on a woman? Okay.
Yeah. The other one is, which is weird, but I don't like pumpkin spice. I have an aversion to it actually. But I do have a fragrance that has that I made because I got a lot of requests for pumpkin spice.
Uh-huh.
For the life of me, I cannot remember the name of it right now. But I had a coworker try that, and every time she wears it, I follow her around the office.
See,
Like
I'm not
what
a
did
pumpkin
she
spice
have on?
latte person. I don't even drink coffee. I just like the smell of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm a tea drinker.
Yeah,
Okay, so
same.
now, oh, so he's telling it luscious pumpkin.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yeah, so she every time she tries that on, I'm like, I'm following her, looking for her, and I'm like, I made that. Um,
So tell me about these. This is another set that you're working on. So tell me
so
about
yeah,
these.
so those are not available. So that's from a new project that I'm working on, the Brown Sugar Company, and so the Brown Sugar Company, and so the Brown Sugar Company is a departure from the gourmand. It is when I was talking earlier about hot perfumes, hot springs, I was able to buy back the company, but not able to keep the name,
Okay.
which is
So
good.
you
I
were
think
able to
yeah.
buy your formulas back?
No, not the formulas back, but I didn't want those formulas back. That's when I was first like adventuring, and I couldn't get all the things that I can get
Right.
now, and I was afraid to really be adventurous with making perfume. And but some of the names I was able to get back, and just
Okay.
the business I was able to get back. So this one is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be some skincare stuff, some candles, some. Although I do have to say, for coffee, I also am coming out with a coffee scrub that I worked on for 3 years that really is good at exfoliating your skin and making your skin soft, and then it leaves you with a light coffee scent. I'm a good, clean, wholesome guy, but I've smelled some people who have gotten out of the shower and so one of my friends, she that's another thing I would like to smell on a woman. But
Fresh
I'm a virgin,
skin.
so that wasn't, that was just she came to visit
So
my
they
house.
coming through with the scrub. You coming through with
Um,
the scrub. Now, what is it? Somebody likes a good cigar sort of spray. So you like smoky, must be. You like a little
yeah,
smoky.
so coffee sauna, once that ammonia sort of smell dries down from there, when the tobacco starts to come out, and that it is a coffee, marshmallow, and tobacco
Whew, I
scent.
know
It's
this
got a
room
little
is.
smoke in it.
I'm about to die. Let me just be honest.
I told you those are
No,
knocked
I
out
got
of
so much
lizards.
fragrance going on up in here. Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna start opening up, and we're gonna see. Do you know what these
Okay.
are? Do you have your list for these, or
I think I know what those are, but I'll look them up if I don't. But I would advise you. Those are like Bette Midler's concentration. You spray them from a distance
okay?
because, yeah, it'll make you hate your life if you spray it too close. They're very strong.
So this is Mandarin.
So Mandarin is based on Mandarin orange. It's one of the first perfumes that I made. And so it's basically based on orange juice, but it's got a lot of spice in it and it's got a lot of woods in it to
Okay,
make the orange last. So the orange note in there will last throughout the fragrance, but it's got jasmine in it to give it some creaminess and some other florals. But that is also one of my favorites.
okay. I definitely get the Mandarin.
Yeah.
I have to try this one on. I kind of
Well,
like it.
yeah.
Now, what did you say the notes were in it? Because it's giving me kind of like a bitter.
Mm-hmm. It's got bitter orange in it.
Okay.
It's got tangerine in it. It's got mandarin orange in it. It's got orange peel and orange peel tincture in it. But that little bottle that you have, I probably could have used that to make a 50 ml eau de parfum concentration. So they're
Oh
very,
wow.
very concentrated.
Yes, they are. Okay.
Yeah, they're very, very concentrated.
I'm starting to get the jasmine, the florals coming out. But it's definitely, I get that orange and I'm getting that bitter
Yeah.
orange. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Sort of like
It's got
neroli.
petitgrain in it as well.
Okay, that's what I'm smelling, the petitgrain.
Yeah,
Because it's
and it's
got that
got
bitter
bergamot in
bite
it
to
also.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of liking it though. I'm kind of liking it. This would definitely be like a really nice. Okay, let me say this. I would love to smell this on a man in the summertime. I think this would be really nice on a man in the summertime because it's got a little bit of it's got a little masculine quality to it. It's unisex, but I would love to smell a man in this. I would love to smell. Yeah, definitely.
That's one of my favorite ones. I get compliments when I
I
wear.
can
I
see that.
almost didn't release that one because I didn't want anyone else to have it.
I can see that.
But yeah, but I decided to go ahead and yeah.
Right. Okay, so here we go. Hi Bella, how are you? You gonna stay? Okay, so we're gonna get you something in. Ooh, this one. Ooh, my goodness. Okay, let me see. This is uncted,
Unscented.
unscented. Okay, because I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah. Nobody uses the scent sign anymore, but it's unscented. So
Oh,
that
it's
I had a
the scent sign. Okay, I get it now.
So one of my coworkers works in a fragrance-free environment. So that one is a musk, but it's a clear musk.
Okay.
And so it's based on a popular accord that I don't know if I could say because I don't want to catch a case. So it's a popular
It's
accord.
on a popular what?
Popular accord that a famous perfumer used that everybody knows of. But I just don't know all the particulars for using the name, so I'm not going to say the name. But and then it has musk and amber.
Oh yes, this is very familiar. And yes, this is a very easy. This was a very easy reach. It's not too. Yeah, I could definitely.
Yeah.
Let's spray it again. Yeah, I could definitely see this because it's got a little muskiness to it. But it's very easy. It's easy. It's not. It's easy reach, nice and pleasing. When oh yeah, I could definitely see this.
And that one might, I'm still thinking about playing around with that one. So that one may not end up the same. I think I'm going to up the amber in it. And,
I can
that
see
one,
that.
yeah. And I think I want to add a little bit of,
because it almost has like a powdery, but not powdery.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
And,
that's part of the accord.
Yeah, it's powdery, but not powdery, which I like because I'm not a huge powdery person, but it's got a little hint of powder with the musk, and it's a kind of a very interesting mix, like the powdery musk kind of vibe to it. But yeah, I could definitely see somebody wearing this in an office because it wouldn't bother anybody. You wouldn't get somebody to be like, "Oh my God, what are you wearing? That's too much." This is definitely something that you could wear in the office. Okay, next up, let's see. Ooh, chocolate wasted.
So chocolate wasted was it was the most popular fragrance that I ever made.
Yeah, I've
But
heard about this one.
And it's not it is gourmand, but it's got a lot of coffee in it. It also has a roasted cocoa note in this version of it. So this one's kind of like a big tincture. It's got ground cocoa beans, ground coffee, ground tonka beans that I made into a tincture. And so to make that version takes about a year to tincture.
Okay,
So
so
it
this
is
is going to be like a limited edition. Get it while it's hot.
No, I'm always making more of it because it was the most popular one that
Okay.
I had. But it does have a slight bitter note, and that's one that as it ages, the notes will become stronger in it. So like 4 or 5 years from now, it'll smell different than it did when you first got it.
Man, I could see why. Oh my God, this is a beautiful chocolate. Oh yeah. So now we're gonna have them waiting for you to bring these out. So they're all gonna be waiting for brown sugar to come out.
So yeah, every day somebody's asking me about chocolate wasted, and I'm still working out the packaging. I found some bottles, but due to the pandemic, I can't get them imported.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'm working on
2020 has fucked up so much shit. 2020 has, yeah, it's just been rough. Rose, the jasmine one isn't available yet. However, I'll try to save you a little and send you some so you can smell it.
There's enough in that bottle for you to probably make some for everybody who's watching because it's super strong.
Oh, so which somebody just bought 3 bottles. Okay, did you buy? I got to buy the ginger ale. Okay, okay.
Oh, there was some ginger ale left. Okay.
I don't know if it is. If it isn't, I'm gonna let share it because, like I said, I like it, but it's just not for me. I just think it's the most interesting because it really does. It smells fizzy. It smells like ginger ale.
That and Yankee Dollar, which has a Coke. It's based on a song my grandmother used to sing by the Andrews Sisters. And so that one has a Coca-Cola vibe. And so I just amped up the aldehydes to give that one more fizz as well.
Okay. He loves ginger.
Okay, I couldn't tell if his skin was burning. I'm like, oh no.
Yes,
I'm glad you like it.
You're like, whoa, is this?
Yeah, maybe I amped it up too much.
Oh, wait a minute. So here we go. We got somebody saying something.
Oh, thank you.
See you, Christy.
Thank you, Christy.
You know, Christy, actually, I still have to send her because Christy won. I'm sending her samples of all the ones you sent me because she won it. I did like a little giveaway. I'm going to send out 5 ml decants of those. So she's going to try all of the ones that you sent me, the last batch.
Congratulations, Christy.
So I Am Love.
I have to look up because I don't remember what is in I Am Love, but I do remember that Jennifer Holliday had a song that my sister used to sing when I was a kid.
I remember the song.
That song is that fragrance is based off of Jennifer Holliday. And then when I did work in HIV prevention and education, I got to meet a lot of people at the conferences. So I actually got to meet, I don't know her, we don't hang out, but I got to meet her at one of the conferences. Okay. And so she's a really, really sweet, really awesome person. And so that was inspired by her. So now I have to go and switch websites so I could tell you what's in it.
Okay. Okay, so here we go. We got one more question. You can keep looking and I'll read it to you. Once the current collection is sold, is that it? Do I need to go back and buy another Leche? Probably so. He said Leche you're not going to be able to do again, right?
No. That one I can do. That one I have enough. I can get those again. It's arroz con leche that I can't. So arroz con leche I can't.
Oh, arroz con leche.
I can't make any more of. Sorry, this is not cooperating with me.
So I'm definitely trying Aragon on. Let's just let me sit here. Let me just try this one. Yes. So I just tried Aragon on my skin.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, it's a classic kind of oody rose, but I like this one. Yep, that's one. Yeah, I'm liking this one.
Okay, so I Am Love is oh, no wonder I forgot it. So I'm not a huge, hold on, let me make sure I'm telling you that right.
Do you have like an orange pop kind of flavored scented one? Like
I did have an orange soda one that I did a few years ago. That was part of I think it was a soda collection that I did, but the one of the aldehydes that I used, they increased the price on, and so I would have to charge so much for that I didn't I didn't recreate it. So I Am Love is I think I'll see when you spray it, but it's rose. It's based on a rose martini.
Okay.
And so that one, I'm not sure if I'm going to release that one. If I do, it's not the same. Like now, by Killian has a rose martini one, and they're not the same. Of
Okay.
course, they're not the same. That's by Killian, and I'm not doing the thing. I can't afford the notes that he is using to still keep the prices where they are. But this one it's juniper, rose, and pepper. So it's a spicier rose. It's a cleaner rose.
I like it. I'm a rose person. These are not roller balls. These are travel sprays. So
Yeah,
Leah,
those are
these are
travel
all
sprays.
travel sprays. Roller balls suck. It's kind of got a fizziness to it that reminds me of ginger ale. It has like the slight fizziness to it,
Mhm.
but I like it because it's a
It has
different.
a club soda accord
Yeah. Okay,
that I
that's it
made.
because it's got
Yeah,
definitely a fizziness to it.
yeah,
Mm. And it's not too juniper because I don't like the smell of juniper that much,
yeah.
but I get the spiciness from the pepper. So, ooh, that club soda gives this. I really like that for some
Yeah.
reason. I have to see.
I wanted to keep it bright and to cut down. Rose can go kind of old lady. I don't mean
Right.
that as an
You know,
insult
I like a good rose.
yeah, that's right.
Um,
To any old
but
ladies
it's
who may
less
be
about the
into
rose. It's
rose, but
more about the fizzy, airy brightness of it. The rose is
yeah,
like a player in it where it's very clean, it's very
yeah,
bright, it's very fizzy, and then you get the rose. So
yeah.
like I'm getting more of the fizziness of it, and then I get the rose, and it's got a sweetness to it. Okay, I like it. I have to see how that would on my skin because I don't know how this will play on my skin, but I
Yeah.
think it would smell lovely on somebody else. But fizzy stuff doesn't usually work well on me.
It's an aldehyde, so on the skin, it can either go clear or it can go powdery when it
Mhm,
mixes with the rose. But that's why the juniper and the citrus notes are there to keep the rose from becoming too powdery.
mhm.
Because to me, a powdery rose smells like old motel soap, and that's not what I wanted.
Okay, so I think I know how to say this. Anhedonia.
Anhedonia, yeah. So,
Anhedonia.
um, which I know is a weird name for a fragrance, but when I was a teenager, I went through sort of a lot of things, and so I was diagnosed with depression,
Hmm.
and so that one is based on all of the things that I hated as a kid, um, and just trying to. So it's a balance between that. So it's a patchouli forward fragrance, but I am someone I use a lot of patchouli, but I honestly cannot stand the smell of patchouli. Like I am cursing the world on the days when I'm working with fragrances that have patchouli blended into it. It just it always smells like urine to me, and just like it's just I just don't like it. But I use a lot of it because it's very it can be blended with so many different things in a fragrance.
Right.
So that one, it's got patchouli in it, it's got cannabis in it, it's got sage in it, it's got just all of it's got a little bit of dark chocolate in it.
So basically, get high. Just the get high fragrance.
It's just based on things like my sister. Well, I hope she's not watching this, but one of my sisters was a heavy pot user, um, and so she always smelled like she should be in the mountains somewhere. And so it's just all of those things together. But I actually do wear that one because I think the other notes kind of give the patchouli a different take, so it's
Okay,
not as hippie.
I actually like it. I don't necessarily like it for me because it's not, but I think it's beautiful. It's kind of it's more of a freshy kind of green. It's got a definite greenness to it. I definitely like it. Yeah, I definitely like it. I might like this though because I've been kind of getting into these kind of fragrances. Yeah, yeah, I like this. This would
That's
definitely
another one
I would
that
wear
in the
in like the summertime, but I think this is I could see you wearing it because I think this would if I smelled a man smelling like this, yeah, he might get some. I'm just being real. Okay.
it's got a touch of oud in it as well. It's got a little bit more oud than I Am Love has in it.
I like it though.
Yeah.
I mean, like surprisingly, when you said the notes, I was like, I'm gonna like it, but they really blend well together, and they have like a green freshness to them. I could definitely see a man wearing this out. I could see you wearing it, and I'm sure it smells really wonderful on you because it's not, like I said, it's not super masculine, but it leans just enough for me where I want to smell a man smelling like this. But I think it would smell good on me too. I'm gonna have to play with this one too. Okay, and so much stuff to play with. Oh my god. Okay. And then we have, let's see what this one is. Don't Touch Me Tomato.
So Don't Touch Me Tomato is inspired by Josephine Baker's banana skirt. So it's I hope I don't offend anyone when I say this. It's got a feral woman note in it.
Please,
And
so it does smell like fish, right?
not fish. A little more morning after.
Before she take her shower.
Before the PTA bath, yes. It's a little
Got
bit, yes. So it's got tuberose in it. It's got banana in it. It's got green leaves in it. So it's based on, like, in the 20s when Josephine Baker was on the stage dancing, they didn't have showers and those kinds of things like we have now. So I'm sure she, so it has, I'm sure she had a sort of a natural woman scent. And I do think one of the most beautiful scents is a natural woman scent. A lot of guys probably won't admit that, but
it smells like bubble gum. But
it smells like bubble gum. That's the tuberose and the jasmine. But as it dries down, and the banana, as it dries down, and it does have
like a banana smell to it. Yes. Yeah. But let me say this is that it doesn't have the regular bubble gum. This one smells more like the original Bubble Yum bubble gum to me.
Tuberose and jasmine can go bubblegum, and that banana definitely, it gives it that bubblegum note. But as it dries down, it becomes a little greener, a little more musky. It'll evolve on the strips some and more so on the skin. But I would say, well, anytime you spray a fragrance, you should always give it about 15 to 20 minutes before you see what the real character is going to be.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I sprayed Aragon on. Okay. All right, so let's see what this one is. This one is Smokin' Hot.
So Smokin' Hot is also one of the original hot perfumes, one of the original hot names. And it is based on pipe tobacco and incense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is pipe tobacco. So this is going to be smoky as hell.
Smoky, kind of leathery. It's got saffron in it. I
can smell the leatheriness just doing like this.
Yeah.
Definitely leathery. It's got that new car smell.
Yeah. I was going for like a gentleman's lounge type of scent, but it also has a tiny bit of pineapple just to cut down some of the sharpness of the leather.
Yeah, this is definitely a man scent. I would never wear this. Never. Never. I'm not one of them. Let me say this. I'm not one of them people like, oh, everybody can wear everything. Okay, you can wear that shit. I'm not. Okay. But yeah, this is definitely new car leather with a little smoke in it.
Yeah. The tobacco is definitely in the background, but it will come out as the fragrance evolves. The thing about those is I blended them in a way so they sort of unravel over time. So they're not as they're a lot more complex than some of the Ganache. Like the Ganache is you get what you smell is what you smell.
Right.
For the most part. The coffee fragrances are sort of in the middle, and then these were designed to be like perfume. There's a few gourmand ones in there, but it's designed to be perfume. Yeah. My favorite. It's not in there because it needs to sit a while longer, but I have two. One is based on beauty rituals of Black and Latino women, And so it's got like coconut oil, it's got some shea butter, it's got some like rose, just some of those different things in it. And so I'm excited about that one, but it needs to mature a little bit before it's ready. And then the other one is based on just some colognes my father used to have as
Mm-hmm.
a kid, which a lot of them came from Avon, in these weird sort of ceramic sort of like things that look like pistols, and I don't know who Avon was selling
Oh
to when
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah. Avon was there. I was having
yeah,
like cars and everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So so it's like based on some of those, but a more modern version. But those are still they need to mature a little bit. So when they do mature, I'll send them to you. But they're not ready yet.
Okay, soul food.
So soul food. I think I might have given you some bad advice again. Let me look up soul food. Um,
Okay, so I do like Aragon, but I don't.
so soul food. Oh wait, you know what? I'm sorry. Can we? So I've given you some really bad advice. I Am Love has none of the things in it that I told you that it has in it at all. So
Which one?
way off here. So I Am Love is peach. It's got peach in it. It's got champagne in it. So the
Which one?
fizziness that you're I Am Love.
So that's where I'm getting that
Yeah.
fizziness. Okay.
It's got champagne in it. It's got peach. It's got white rose in it, and then it has Divana in it. So it'll smell a little bit different on everyone. And so as that one dries down, it'll get a lot more musky, because I wanted a musky peach, and then that Divana comes through, and it sort of is almost bordering overripe, and then that also has tuberose in it too. So it'll get less sweet. But yeah, when you get that
That's
ginger ale
what I'm
vibe
smelling because it's
from the
okay.
yeah,
That's the fizziness,
yeah,
and that's why I'm smelling the peach because it reminded me of your peach daiquiri.
yes, yes. So now that I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about,
Hey,
um,
okay, yeah,
yes, yes,
but you're making them
yes,
okay.
right,
Okay, so let me try this because the peach daiquiri was too peachy. It didn't dry down good on me. Like it was good in the beginning, but it didn't dry down good on me. Okay, so let's go back to soul food. So what's in soul food?
Okay, so soul food is the one that has the rose, it has the club soda, it has the pink pepper, um, and
Okay, so that was made sense because I wasn't getting none of that. I was getting the
yeah.
fizzy and the sweetness. Okay, so I wasn't crazy. Okay, so this is the
No,
one
you
that
weren't.
has,
Yeah, I was way off with that one.
so this
Yes.
is the one that has the rose and the pink pepper, the pepper and what
Mhm.
else?
It has club soda in it. It has rose infused simple syrup, so it's got a little bit of sweetness in it, and it's got a little bit of juniper in it as well. So it has a gin accord that I made from juniper berries and some other things.
Okay, now I get that. This is the one that's it's got that spiciness from the pepper. The juniper isn't bad because I don't like juniper because I don't like the smell of gin. Gin stinks to me. Um, but it's got enough of it. And I could see somebody like for me, I love rose of all types, but this is definitely a more modern rose. It definitely has like that little modern rose kind of vibe to it with the spicy, with the little pepper in it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yep, I can't wait to try this one on. Okay. Yeah, see, this one is gonna be too peachy for me.
When it dries down though, and the Divana takes over, it's gonna be. I mean, it still might be peachy because it's got that uh, prosecco sort of champagne note to it. But as the Divana and the base note sort of turn come through, it's gonna change. But the peach note does stay
Okay.
throughout that one. Yeah.
So now we have Luscious Lounge Lizard.
So Luscious Lounge Lizard is also one of the names, the original names from the hot perfumes. I
Okay.
reformulated that. There was a perfumer who smelled it and compared that perfume was the beginning of the end.
With
Because
what?
for hot, it was the beginning of the end. So for hot perfumes, there was a reviewer who, you know, approached me and he was like, "Can I try your stuff?" This is back when I still watched reviews. I'm like, "Sure, you can. I'll send you some stuff." And so he smelled the original. He felt it smelled like a Demeter fragrance, which is fine. But through there, I met one of the most evil, narcissistic customers like ever, who just and that was when my skin was not as thick and I was not as used to the criticism. So that was a thing that was just like, everybody hates me, I'm gonna shut down my business, and that's how I ended up selling it.
Oh, okay. You had one of them moments like,
Yeah,
oh my God, these terrible people.
Yes, definitely. So I reformulated that one. It's got lavender. It's still based on a lavender martini. I watched a lot of shows I shouldn't have as a kid, but Three's Company was one of my favorite shows. And so the luscious in all of my luscious fragrances means there's an alcohol note in it. And so Lana, who was the lounge lizard in Three's Company, is who inspired the Lush.
Who? Larry or
Lana, she was the one that used to hang out at the Regal Beagle and was always trying to pick up on Jack and Larry.
Oh, yeah. I remember her. Okay.
Yeah. So
I would not wear this because
based
I
on
can
her.
smell the lavender.
Mm-hmm.
But I can smell the booziness of it. I can smell the booziness, so it's actually bringing it down. Yeah, it's bringing it down. It's kind of got a lemon. It's kind of got like
It's got a lot of bergamot in it.
Yeah,
a lot of bergamot. It's got some
Listen,
petitgrain. It's got
like
rosewood in it.
Okay, because normally I don't sound like this. You bringing out the best of me.
Oh, see, I'm a Leo, so it's Leo magic.
Leo, I'm an Aries. And fire up in here.
There you go. It's lit tonight.
Yeah, because I definitely get the a lavender, and then I get the citrus, that bergamot, so that kind of balances it out. Because I don't like lavender. I like what lavender does. I just don't really like the scent of lavender.
If you're not a fan of lavender, that's probably not going to be for people who aren't lavender fan. I'm not a huge lavender fan, but it doesn't have. I tried to blend out the sort of camphorous notes of lavender,
right?
And Lavender Absolute is actually sweeter, more of a candy-like lavender.
But you know what? As it dries down, it smells like really pretty soap.
Mm-hmm.
It has but it's not soapy, but it smells like pretty soap.
Yeah, it's got amber in it, and the amber is gonna give it that a little bit of
it's got a soap smell, but not soapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of like because like I like to go to like Marshall's and pick up like the big bars of soap. It just reminds me of those. It's got like a soapy vibe, but not soapy. Like I could wear, like if I sprayed this on, I could wear it because I hate the way soapy shit smells on me. But this is nice. This is nice. So yeah, as it's drying down, it does get better, of course. And our last one. Ooh, this is really oily because the whole thing is coming off. Let me see. Sol Besado.
Okay, so Sol Besado is, I probably put, that is the one where it sounds like it's going to be an unpleasant experience for you. Because with Sol Besado, it's very strong. It's very, very strong. And I would advise you not to spray that, but maybe to open the cap and rub it on a test strip, because a little of that goes a very long way. But when the concentration is right, it really is beautiful. But when the concentration is wrong, it'll make you, if you have neighbors you hate, that's what you spray in the hallway. Because it will, but it's suntan lotion.
I could see that. Yep. Just like, well, I didn't spray it. I just rubbed it. And I think, some of it came out, I think.
Yeah. It means I made it to the concentration. I just need to put, so with
I can smell it in the box. It's actually not bad though.
It's not bad in the right concentration, but in the wrong concentration, it is like if you hate someone, just put some full strength of that in something and give it to them, and they'll learn on that day. But it's based on suntan lotion.
I can see that. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. because it smells decent. It smells nice in the box. But like this is like a very masculine kind of vibe to me too, because
Yeah.
it's kind of got that kind of aftershavey cologne vibe to me.
Yeah,
But
if it's in the right concentration, which that is not, it is a it's just like suntan lotion. I one of my sister's friends, she used to get this suntan lotion. I don't know where she got the suntan lotion from, but I was able to get some of it, and I smelled it over and over till I could pick out the notes that were in it. So it's based on that suntan lotion. So on the skin, it's got coconut CO2 in it. So in the right concentration, the coconut CO2 comes out. It's got ylang ylang in it, and then the other notes I can't tell you. But
so what's the difference when you're using like a CO2? How does that work?
so a CO2 is when they extract the essential oils, they put it in CO2 gas, and when the gas dissolves, the oil is left.
Right.
And so this is like a coconut CO2 in its cool stage is like a thick, it's like coconut oil. It's like the consistency of coconut oil,
Okay.
but it's richer, it's thicker, and but it has to be, you have to heat it before you can use it, and then if you don't filter it, it can solidify. And some things
Okay.
like coconut CO2 is easier to work with. Coffee CO2 is a little bit harder to work with, and then cocoa CO2, which is also in chocolate wasted, is a nightmare to work with.
Okay.
But you can't, the smell that you get from it, you just can't synthesize.
Okay. So so now with you doing the new lines, how long is it going to be before you're ready to like really put them out there?
So I'm still working on the packaging for that. This is something it's a little bit of a departure from the other things, but it's more like as far as range as a perfumer and how I've grown as a
Mhm.
perfumer. It shows that piece, but I don't ever want to be that company where you're paying, $100 or over $100 for a bottle. I understand why that is so, because the materials are not cheap. So I try to blend things in a way that I can still keep it affordable, but the packaging is that's the hardest thing. Like I can find bottles that like, these bottles are great and they're affordable, but it's $400 to ship them. And so then
Right.
I have to work all that out. And then samples is another thing that's just, the sample bottles that don't leak are not cheap. So other perfume houses, they add all that into their
Right.
price. And I
Right.
just didn't want to, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep it as
Well, I ain't
affordable
gonna
as I
lie. When I
possibly
saw
can.
your prices, I was like, let me buy some more stuff. Let me buy some more stuff. Let me buy some more. No, but I do like the fact that you are affordable. So that's really awesome. And anything else you want to tell us about? Oh my God. Let me just tell you, this room, I am going to pass out from all this fragrance
Yeah.
that I have sprayed in my room right now. And I didn't turn the fan on. So I'm just like, it's a cloud of fragrance all around me right now. Just a
Well,
cloud.
and those linger. So that last batch, unfortunately, 3 days from now, you may still smell it in the.
Well, I work in here, so this is where I teach at. So it's just gonna be smelling good in here. I'm just gonna be in here chilling, smelling good. Okay. Does anybody have any more questions? I am gonna put down. Please make sure, like once we get done, let me have all of the website information, like for coffee and stuff, so I can make
Okay.
sure I put it in the description box. So in case anybody watches it later on and they want to get and try them, they can find you right there. I am so excited. This was so much fun. I want to thank you, JC, for hanging out with me. I'm not gonna keep you forever because I can sit here and chit chat with your ass forever because that's how I am. That's how I roll. But and I know you got a damn life. I'm sure. Unlike me, I ain't got shit to do. The pandemic got me in the house.
You said you teach?
Hmm.
What is that? If you don't mind me asking, what is that? I'm sure that's got to be a challenge with the Zoom. Are you guys doing it through Zoom? Wow.
Oh, it's less of a challenge teaching, and they know I've had issues with leadership in my school. They always coming up with some new shit that they want us to do. So it's just annoying. Like every 5 minutes, they want us to do something to make sure the kids are engaged. So we're supposed to ask questions or say something to them. So yeah.
Every 5 minutes?
Every 5 minutes.
Oh,
who comes up with this stupid shit? You know, it's like they have nothing better to do but like sit in a meeting and go, hey, let's say this now. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Okay, that's tough. So when you're teaching, you got to stop and ask engaging questions. That's
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
They want to say, and it's like you can't ask the same question over and over again. You know,
Right.
So it's like, and then they wanted us to have like a list of them. Like, have your list of questions to ask. Fuck out of here. Right. So and then our lesson plans are being graded. I'm failing miserably every week. So yeah, they you know, they grade our lesson plans like we're kids. So other than that, like the kids themselves are fine. Of course, they are missing each other, but they badasses. They don't need to be around each other anyway because they're gonna start fighting at some point. So I think even though they're not disciplined for it, I think a lot of kids, especially kids that are in more urban settings, kind of need that because they lose the distractions of each other. And if they're in school and they're focused. So I think that the kids are more focused because they have nothing else. They can't help but be focused because they don't have enough, you know, they don't have each other to bounce off of. So.
Wow. Well, thank you for doing that. Because teaching.
I don't know how much longer I'm be doing it. So I know you work in social work. Do you see yourself one day like just being a perfumer for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting. I think when I do launch Brown Sugar, it's going to take a little bit more of my time. But I don't know. It's kind of like my training is I majored in psychology, and so I have a love. Although I couldn't be a therapist, as a therapist, I have a tendency to not listen to my clients. You don't want that kind of therapist to go to, but it's so I don't know, like I see myself doing some hybrid of the two. Like I enjoy working with people, but as I get older, I realize a lot of things I learned in school is just if anyone majored in psychology, if there are therapists out there, they're gonna hate me for saying this. Oh, hey, so cover your ears for what I'm about to say. But it is important, and yes, you can really help people, but there are times when I sit and I listen to people complain about certain things, and then I think about the other things that happen in life, and I just want to say, honestly, who gives a shit? Like, you know, seriously, like this is like some of the things that like we struggle with, and then and it's harder for me. It's getting harder. I hope none of my coworkers are watching this. I love my coworkers, love you. But the ones who know me know we've talked about this, but it's getting harder as the world becomes more self-absorbed to really like have conversations about trauma and how and how trauma impacts people. And so it's things like, you know, this person isn't being defiant. They just they've had a trauma experience. This person isn't oppositional defiant. They just don't like you. You know, and I
think everybody wants to be labeled something, you know, and I think and I'm not into what y'all do, but I also think that so many people are falling back on saying that they have issues when they really don't.
Yeah.
And they just don't know how to cope with things. I think a lot of people just don't have coping skills for life. Life is going to be tough sometimes. And I think we live in times now where everybody don't want anything to be, you know, they want everything. They can't handle anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like during the time that I was dealing with the stuff with my husband, my whole life was falling apart around me. I mean, there was all kind of stuff happening. I mean, it was like shit, there was a moment when I sat on the porch and I was like, God, I don't know if I could take anymore. And that was before I went actually to the doctors and everything, because it took me a while to go to the doctors because I had to wait, like I had to wait to make sure I had, insurance. And I swear to you, the next day I came outside and there had been a storm and my front window was cracked like through the whole thing. And I looked at that shit and I was like, damn. And at that moment, I was about to be like, fuck. But then it was like, well, okay, now let's figure out how we're going to get this car fixed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Whereas opposed to, because it was shit that was heaping on me and heaping on me and heaping on me. And I could have been like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No, I've always felt like if you can keep walking, you can keep moving and you can get through that moment. And I don't think that enough people think that now. We get lost in the moment and can't see that there can be something on the other side of the moment. Shit got worse after that. I wound up in the hospital. They thought I had, leukemia. It was bad for a minute, but it was like, okay, but I'm still here. So let me keep moving. Let me keep moving. And I think that's the thing now, is that so many people fall back on it's, that there's something wrong, that it ain't just life be fucked up sometimes, shit get fucked up and you gotta make it through sometimes.
Well, see, and that's one of the challenges that I have, is that the way the world, like when I went to school, but long story short, the school that I went to while I was working on my senior project closed down. And so that school is now a wine bar. And so
oh wow.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's now a wine bar during the pandemic, but it was at one point. It became a wine bar. But so as I was working on my senior project last year, last thing I had to do, the school closed down. And so long story short, before I could finish the program, the school was gone. They lost their accreditation. They were gone. So I had the choice of, do I want to go somewhere else and start all over? But I didn't want to do that. And so I'm glad that I learned, what I learned. I'm glad that I know, the things that I know. But also I feel like it's a lot of it is just, we don't talk about resiliency. We don't talk about, we don't talk about we talk about that, like trauma. Everyone has some sort of trauma about something, but we don't spend a lot of time like staying there. We don't talk about the fact of just, I was diagnosed with ADHD. I had dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dyspraxia, all of these labels that were just put on me. And come to find out, I was misdiagnosed to have nonverbal learning disorder. And so all of these things sort of made sense now about, like, on the one hand, I'm really good at this piece. I'm really good at the counseling piece. I'm really good at that part. But in my personal life, I'm a walking disaster. I don't pick up on the social cues. Like, I have all these like interactions that happen. So I dealing with that could have been the thing that could have taken me out, especially since from 16 to now 42, I kept saying, are you sure I don't have Asperger's? Because, some of the things that I do, that would make sense. Can you test me again? And so they're like, sir, you don't have it. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I feel like I would be somewhere on the spectrum. So getting this piece of information to me was like, this isn't the thing that's wrong with me. This is the thing that's right with me. But can we have these conversations when we do find out that there are people that have diagnosis? Is a diagnosis correct? I wasn't oppositional defiant when I was 16 years old. I'm from Orange County. There weren't a lot of Black faces. I'm trying to navigate that world. And I was diagnosed in a setting where these set of standards, apply to me because this is what the book says. It's supposed to apply to me. But if you sit and have a conversation, I was actually pretty insightful about what was going on. Thank you. But so I was pretty insightful about what was going on and what was happening in my life. But my attempts to say, I don't think you are listening to me when I'm talking, and so I even had a therapist once when I was a teenager say, I looked in the book and I'm like, I think this is, what my issue is. And she was like, well, I don't think that applies to you. And I'm like, well, I don't think you're very pretty. But we all have, our opinions, but I need you to hear what it is I'm saying. And so that got me to be
I'm
opposition.
sure that didn't go over well.
No, so because of that, I was opposition.
Okay, but see, fuck on that. That's the Leo in you. That's the Leo when you say that, because the Leo would say that. Like, well, I don't think you're that cute. So, and see, that's the Leo. That was your astrological sign talking right there.
But it's also just the way, like, I think one of the biggest things, I was a director of a program, and we had a really bad situation with with a domestic violence situation where a guy came into the building, grabbed his wife by the hair, threw her to the ground, and was punching and kicking her. And so it was terrible to see. It was a terrible situation for her to be in. But for me, as I'm sitting there trying to process all of this, the crazy thing is the guy was missing his left arm and his left eye. And so it was just kind of like, after everything happened, the police came, they got him out. We had to debrief. And so while we're debriefing, my boss, who's also the clinical person, comes in and she wanted us to talk about it. And I know that I shouldn't say what I'm thinking, but it's also
because I bet you thinking exactly what I'm about to think too. What?
Yeah, why didn't she stand over here? Is the thing that I was thinking.
And my thought is, how the hell you get your ass beat by a man with one arm? Because he got.
I can understand it, but it was this. So my thing is like,
oh hell no!
Yeah, I wouldn't have got on his good side. I would have been over here.
I'd have been on his bad side, fucking him up.
Yes, but it was that thing of like, I get the mental hold, that he has on her, and I understand that piece. But it was also like, there's a different intervention we can do. And so to me, it was just like, my parents had a ministry in their church, and they would take people shoe shopping, but they wouldn't take the amputees. And so my thing is like, well, they'll feel left out. And I'm like, people have a left foot, people have a right foot, get them together, and buy shoes. And so to me, those sort of things make sense,
Right. But I also say, like, because I did, okay. A person like that, he picks the person. He understands who he needs to be with. He finds that weakness in that person. Yeah. That's why he was able to abuse her, because she had certain weaknesses that he could prey upon. I was with this guy tried to date me, and it was very clear he was abusive. Yeah. And I told him that. I said, "You're gonna try to break me." I said, "You'll never break me." Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, literally, this is a guy who I was riding in a car with him, and he was like, I could take you in the alley and beat your ass and nobody ever know what was happening. And at that moment, I tried to jump out the car. Yeah. And I mean, he really terrorized me on many levels, to the point I got a restraining order. But I'm the type of person, like, he kept doing shit to me, and I kept saying, I don't even like your ass like this. And he was determined that we were going to date. Right. Yeah. Well, he's not only trained her psychologically, but she was already she was able to be trained that way, because she had that in her. Because I kept telling him, "You'll never break me. If you think you're gonna get me to do some shit, it'll never happen." Yeah. And so it got to this point where he kept threatening me, but he wouldn't. He knew just not to say enough where I could say he said something, but it was threatening enough. And it got to this point that he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come over there." And so at first, I would get like. It was getting to the point that I was like fearful and everything. And then there was this moment that I had, and I said, "Fuck this motherfucker." And I went out on the street. And so when he pulled up, I was waiting, because I knew, oh, you want to get me on my side street, because my studio was on the side street. I got on 71st Street on the street. It was raining outside. And he pulled over like he was going to do something. And I squared up like a dude. I was like, okay, we're going to fight. We're going to fight right here in the street. Whatever, because you're not going to back me up to the point that I feel so fearful that I can't do shit. Oh no, motherfucker, I'll fight your ass. And so that's the difference. Like if I was with somebody and he's one eye, one leg, I'm gonna trip your
Yeah.
ass and beat your ass where you stand. That's all there is.
Yeah.
You got one leg, I'm tripping your ass. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's how I think. But I also know women. Matter of fact, I've known a woman who dated somebody who
Yeah.
had one leg and he was abusive, and I was like, "Why don't you trip his ass?" So I get it, that some people are just those people. They have
Yeah.
that in them, and there's a certain, they're not going to fight back. They're going to, and that person is going to try. And this person, he literally, even after I got the restraining order, and I mean, he was like following me places. It got really bad. Like my friend almost ran him over with a car because he stood in front of her car. Like he was gonna make me get out the car. I mean, this is how crazy he was. So by the time I got the restraining order, I cut off everything, because, and I've written about it. It was like he had a daughter and he used his daughter against me because I
Yeah.
felt like she needed a female presence in her life. So he would always throw her in my face, and that's how he would get me to come around again. And he would have her call me up, "Hey, can you do something for me?" And so I would always, I felt for her. It was more
Yeah.
about her than him. And so when I finally just cut it off, I cut it off. And I shouldn't even speak on him because I swear to God, it seems like he shows up. This was 2015. Did I get out the restraining order? No, I got out the restraining order in 2014. The last time he contacted me, text my phone, was in 2018.
Yeah.
2018, 2019. And it'll be like long stretches of time that he wouldn't respond to me. He wouldn't say anything. And I've never responded since I got the restraining order. I've never spoken another word to him. He'll send a text. I don't respond. And he'll still escalate in these texts. It's so crazy. So I understand, and I think sometimes we need to see the crazy because, like, I was always around women, and I had my dance studio, which was for adult women. And I think I needed to experience that to understand what it felt like to be terrorized by a man, because I had never been terrorized in my life. But by seeing that, it made me understand that this can really happen, and I understand how it happens. And but I'm a fighter, so I fought his
Yeah.
ass, like,
No,
for real.
I tell people like this. For me, my name is Jarekhye, but I go by JC because it makes my life easier. I don't have to stop and explain a whole bunch of things if I don't feel like it. I can choose to be called that. But I had to realize at some point that I had the power to be able to do that. But if somebody says Jarekhye or if somebody says Jarek, then I will respond, because that's something that I've been taught and it's something that I'm familiar with. So if someone told you that you were less than or that you didn't deserve or whatever, you will respond to that the
Right.
same way that you will respond to your name. And so that's a lot of the things that we suffering, sort of trauma things, come from unlearning some of the things that we have been taught and learning how to get re-empower ourselves. And
Right.
so part of my issues with and I think therapy's great, and I think therapy works, and I think that I have been to therapy, and I think that it is a good tool to be able to use. I do think that there needs to be some more creativity and some more ways about how we help people to be able to just have a different sort of narrative. Like, I'm a strong believer in sort of narrative therapy. Like, there's the facts, and then there's what we tell ourselves to
Right.
make sense of that. And so
Mhm.
we sort of form our whole lives based on these identities that's based on miseducation. And so I was just having a conversation with someone about this, where I wore my Black Lives Matter t-shirt. And so I walked into the elevator. She looked at me, she rolled her eyes, and she's like, "Well, what makes Black people think that they own the market on pain?" And then the elevator closed, and I'm like, "Oh, well, what floor are you going to?" Because you asked the right person. And
You
so
got the right
the
one today.
yes. And so I said, "Here's the thing: as a Black man, when I wear this shirt that says Black Lives Matter, I want you to please understand, I don't believe that Black lives matter." And you don't either, because you wouldn't have such a reaction to the shirt that I'm wearing. I grew up in a place, in a country, because this country is the country where I grew up and came of age, where we were slaves, then we were outlaws, we were property, then we were three-fifths of a person, then we were outlaws. So we have never had value. When we are talking about Black Lives Matter, what we're talking about is the decriminalization of being Black.
Of being Black, yeah.
You know? Yeah, and which goes back to after the slaves were released, if you didn't have work papers, that was another way to enslave you. So it was to be Black was criminalized. If I went into the wrong restaurant at the wrong time, I got arrested because I wasn't supposed to be there because being Black was criminalized. I had to run down the street and stick my head in a barrel to laugh because being Black was criminalized. So there's all of these things in this country, but we don't talk about the shame of that. You put me in a place where I have to defend who it is, and I have to defend. So I walk into this elevator and it makes you uncomfortable, but I've never hung you from a tree. Historically, that is not what has happened. So the narrative is that after the civil rights movement, that was the end, and it wasn't. That should have been the beginning, but they taught us complacency, But I tell people as social workers, if we can, our job is to sit with suffering and not feel the need to fix it. It should just be with that person. And then from the counseling perspective, I'm not trying to change anybody's mind on anything. I'm asking them the questions to direct them to the place to get the answers within themselves. And so I'm not the expert. I'm not the expert on my own life, truth be told. And so as I look at those things, there's a sense of purpose that comes with doing that work, especially being able to work with youth who still have the opportunity to learn their resiliency and their power and their strength. But from making perfumes and fragrances, there's a joy that comes with that. But I also didn't realize until I started getting the interaction with people, just sort of the power that has. And just like in my own journey, there was a time when I was pretty sick. I had gotten a diagnosis of, which I haven't really talked about. So if my family is watching this, surprise. But I had gotten a diagnosis of prostate cancer. And so, which runs in my family. And so I was dealing with that piece. And so I was going to shut down my business for the first time because I just, it's a lot to
my friend had it. I dealt with
and so I was as I was thinking of the treatment and what the treatment was going to be, I didn't have to do chemotherapy. There were some alternative treatments that I was able to do, but it was just a lot. And so there are people like, I don't know if Ouija is still here or not, but she was someone who just the emails and was very encouraging. And like those times when I would get like very discouraging news from customers, I would open my email and then like right on time, there's a message from her that's like, hey, I got this and I really like this thing. So that part kind of got me there. Like when people will write to me and say, hey, I wore this fragrance on my wedding day. And it's just kind of like the things that I thought were sort of superficial. But then as I look at how we connect sense to experience and how sense is connected to memory, there's still that piece. So I'm getting to the point where I have to decide, because I keep shutting down and I keep reopening, but I keep doing that because as the business grows, new challenges. Oh, thank you. Oh, she is still there. Hey, thank you. But as new challenges come up, I have to adapt and adjust to the business. So I'm not quite ready to give up working with the youth just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I say in another year or two, it'll depending on what happens in this crazy time that we're living in. I look at I'm probably going to have to switch to make some decisions about doing it full time, or do I want to hire other people? And I've hired some people in the past, and it's really hard when it's your business to find people who get that vision and that piece. And so I had one person who I hired who just was filling the bottles with alcohol and sending them out.
Shut up.
And I'm like, what? And so I'm getting the emails like, it just smelled like straight alcohol. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll send you, return things so you can send it back. So I asked, like, why would you do that? Well, it was faster and I didn't have that kind of, so it was like, okay, like this is, so it's really like those
No,
sort
I
of,
get it, because it's
yeah.
not the thing. You have to find people who really vibe with what you're doing and really get it and want to grow with you or whatever, things
Yeah.
like that, and that's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
To find people like that. So I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah, because I've done things and I've had people and it's like, what did you just do? So yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. So because I would have tried to strangle that person. Like, what is wrong with you?
So well, I mean, I had to. That needless to say, it was like you don't work here anymore, and I had to pull myself back and be gracious and kind. But it's also just I didn't even understand when I first started this journey, just the power of scent and what fragrance means to people. And as I just got more into it, and I just started, especially as I started connecting like scent to stories, and so like especially for the Brown Sugar Company, every fragrance there's sort of a story behind of like some memory or some experience or some place, and just sort of that the evolution that I went through, just even like as a child who didn't really fit in, like genetically I was designed to stick out, and so I get those things like, you don't see Black people with red hair and freckles every day, and I'm like, no, I do. Every time I look in the mirror,
right.
There I am, and they're just, or people will demand in the grocery store, well, where did you get where did you get these features from? And I'm like, something in my father's genes, I don't know, but it's just, it's that piece of making peace with that part, and sort of, what am I wearing tonight? What did I spray on? Are you talking to me, or is there another JC?
No, I'm talking to you.
So I actually am wearing, I sprayed on a little bit of Cookie, but I'm wearing, it's called Snuggle. It's one of the new ones. And it's also another one that I didn't want to release. It's a vanilla, but it's vanilla. It's got vetiver and it's got oleobanum in it. So it's it just is, it's really comforting to me. So I don't know, I put on fragrance before I go to bed. So this is like
everybody does. We all do that. We all put on some fragrance.
And I should say, I'm better now. I was able to recover from the like we caught it soon enough that I didn't have to go through, like I didn't have to have surgery. I didn't have to, like, we caught it soon enough that I was able to do the treatment and I was able to recover. And so I really do like this one. I did release it, but I'll be honest, I'm a little bit iffy about this one. Because I kind of don't want anyone else to have it. I can be kind of selfish with fragrances that way. So,
I mean, you should have some that are just yours. You know what I'm saying? You should have the JC collection. That's
actually, I do. I have one where I went to the store and this lady, I called it mine, and this lady's like, "What is that you're wearing?" And I'm like, "Well, it's called mine." And she's like, "Can I get some of that?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Why not?" And I'm like, "It's mine," And so I have some that I will never release because they're just mine, and this is one of those that
well, maybe you can make something similar, like with the vanilla and the vetiver, and just not have the olibanum, and do something a little different with it. Just don't use pear, because then it'll be labelle. I'm just trying to, because JPT got labelle and it's pear, vetiver, and vanilla.
Okay, well, yeah. So no, this is not, but this has got, I don't reveal all the notes. This is, I took a
She said she just did the discovery set with Snuggle in it.
Oh man, maybe I'll switch it up. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, if I there's someone in the building where my studio is that I don't know how I haven't shipped anything to anyone in Berkeley, but I can come in and I can smell things that I've made that I know. So either they're breaking in at night and they're taking stuff, or they're ordering it from somewhere. So if I smell someone else wearing this, then I'm gonna pull it. but don't tell people I said that. Well, yeah, they'll probably see this, but this is one that I just it's comforting and sort of cozy. Yeah, I'm gonna stop smelling it now. But sometimes I walk around smelling myself, and then but when it comes to fragrances, believe it or not, I mostly wear, if it's not Escape, then I wear Body Shop White Musk for men. But I'm
You are
always
very good.
testing things. What'd you
Oh
say?
my goodness. I just put on Priscilla's theme. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like Priscilla's theme.
That's the one with the almond milk accord in it.
Yes, it is.
Thank
I
you,
can
Yvonne.
smell it. Yes, I love it. Oh my goodness, it smells good. I smell like, it's another time I smell like somebody should be licking on me. Okay, never mind. Now you have been on here for over 2 hours with me, D.
Oh, well, I can talk. So
No,
yeah,
it's
I
just
can talk.
you didn't. Hey, I see you got it. I'm like, okay, no, I do 2 hours all the time, but I'm just surprised because usually people are like, okay, I'm ready to go now. Okay, I'm ready to go. So thank you, but I need to go to sleep because I guess I got a job in the morning.
Well,
Wednesday,
thank you for
Wednesday is meeting day, so we have professional development every Wednesday.
right.
It's hell on earth. The only good thing about being on Zoom is that you can text other people and be like, what the hell is this bullshit? So, that's the best part. They can't. And then waiting for somebody to do something inappropriate. That's the other part. That's the best part about Zoom too. But thank you so much, JC. I do appreciate you doing this Tuesday, LuuLuu and Friends with me. This was great. It went really well. I hope I didn't, keep you too long.
No, I appreciate. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, this was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and thank you everyone for the kind words and the compliments and orders. I appreciate it all.
Right. So before we leave, so I just need the websites to make sure I put it all in the description before this evening to make sure everybody can get to you.
Okay. So you want me to text it to you, or you want me to just say it now, or what's?
No, you can text it to me because I have to.
Okay.
I gotta type it in. So
Okay.
I'll type it in. Okay. Because I can do it from the bed. But thank you so much. I'm gonna end this broadcast. Sit here for a second now, because I could actually talk to you for a minute off.
Okay.
All right. So thank you all. Thank you. Okay. So wait. Let me give you this one. So you.
Thank you. It was nice interacting with all of you guys as well. You guys
my God, Priscilla's things sound so damn good. All right. So good night, everybody. Thank y'all for hanging out with me on a Tuesday. Next week is gonna be me and Uncommon Sense. So you should watch that one because we're gonna talk about Ganache because he's got your stuff too.
I'm gonna watch it. Before we go, I just want to say, although I know this is your thing to say, but make sure you hit that like and subscribe button.
Oh, thank you.
Please,
thank you.
Yes, show some love, give some like, hit the subscribe button.
All right, y'all have a good night. Talk to you later.
Thank you, everyone.